Today I want to talk about somewhat of a dark horse IPO. I think it has the chance to be misunderstood by Wall Street, which gives you and me an advantage if we talk about it right now. Let's do it. What's going on, everybody? My name is Matthew, and I bet that when I reveal this stock, your first instinct might be to click off of this video, and that is exactly why it might become misunderstood. But if you sit through this entire analysis, I have a feeling that you will be glad you did. Today we're talking all things Roblox, ticker symbol RBLX once they IPO. If your gut reaction is, what? No way I'm investing in a video game that's over a decade old. I don't blame you because I had the exact same reaction. But after digging into this company some more, I think it could provide a very interesting investment opportunity and at the very least a curious business case study. Give me the format. First, an overview of Roblox and the weirdly important role it plays in today's society. You'll be surprised. Second, a look at their business model, including target customers, marketing strategy, and more. Third, a look at their juicy financials and some things that have to be tweezed out to really understand the business. And finally, fourth, future growth plans and risky risks involved. No time wasted. Let's get right into it with part one, an overview of Roblox and the weirdly important role it plays in today's society. Let's first quash the idea that Roblox is some washed up old video game, because it's not. For starters, it's not just one game. Roblox is a platform that facilitates user-generated and user-developed games. And if you think no one plays it anymore, just like I originally assumed, we'd both be sorely mistaken. These games have literally hundreds of thousands of concurrent players, and that's because they're not just games. The most popular ones are actually a form of social interaction. It's like a more immersive social media for not only the youngest generation, but people of all ages.
Playing that game again? Second Life is not a game. It is a multi-user virtual environment.
You have unique identities, friends, economies, experiences, all while Roblox keeps a concentrated focus on the safety of their platform. This article from December of 2019 says 50% of active players are playing with friends, and these sites pre-quarantine were visited billions of times. An updated list shows the new top 10 most popular games, and the visits have doubled, tripled, and quadrupled. It's insane the amount of social activity that's going on. According to their S1 filing, in the first 9 months of 2020, year over year, Roblox saw 82% growth in daily active users, from 17.1 million in 2019 to 31.1 million in 2020. And hours engaged on Roblox grew 122%, from 10 billion in 2019 to 22.2 billion in 2020, again in the first 9 months. We'll get into what this means for their financials later in the video because it's pretty incredible. Lastly, it is a very founder-led company, which many people see as a bonus when analyzing a business, and I agree. David Baszucki really believes in creating a platform where people can share the human experience. He wants Roblox to go beyond what you'd imagine for a traditional game. From my interpretation, his leadership and outlook for the company is very long-term, which I like a lot. And before we move on to part two, you know I had to do some hands-on research. So I found this game called Legends of Speed. You start out really slow, but you collect steps in-game to level up and run faster and jump higher, and you race. Well, somehow I found myself playing this for over an hour until I completely maxed out my player, to the point where I was pretty much flying around the map instead of jumping, and apparently running too fast for my own good. But it was for research.
Stop it. Get some help.
Alright, part two, an overview of the actual business and business model. There are three main parts to this company. There's Roblox Cloud, Roblox Studio, and Roblox Client. And together, these three pieces power the user-generated world of Roblox. To understand the business model, we must first be able to understand Roblox developers. Pretty much anyone can become a Roblox developer, and I think the company's approach to this is pretty smart for a few reasons. First, Roblox as a company is providing massive support to these game devs because they're ultimately the ones propelling the business forward. This is a photo of Roblox Developers Conference where they constantly provide updates about new major features and things like the Roblox Studio. Second, these developers are users. 10-year-olds have made games. I mean, look at this kid. Look how young he is. And because they're users, they have their hands firmly on the pulse of what the Roblox community would enjoy. And finally, I think the coolest thing about this company is how they compensate these game developers, because they're not paid a direct salary. To understand this, we have to take a little step back and understand how Roblox makes their revenue. So Roblox has an in-game currency that is purchased with real money called Robux. And this is where a lot of their revenue comes from. Robux can help you do things like upgrade your avatar or even access paid features, games, or make in-game micro purchases. They also have Roblox Premium, which is a subscription business model that gives users different perks, including the ability to resell items and get more Robux selling your creations. An example of the complexity of this economy. And of course, it's another revenue stream, but Roblox does not keep 100% of the revenue that they get from Robux and premium subscriptions. Rather than salaries, game developers can monetize the games they create by designing in-game offerings that cost Robux. And they can also get a cut from premium subscriber revenue if they can increase engagement and retention on their games from premium members. Game developers can take the Robux that they earn from their games and convert it into cold hard cash through an exchange with Roblox. According to their filing, for the 12 months ended September 30th, 2020, Roblox had over 960,000 developers and creators who earned Robux on the platform. 1,057 of them earned over 10,000 US dollars, nearly 250 earned over $100,000 in cold hard cash from converting Robux, 29 made over $1 million, and 3 made over $10 million. Roblox company goals align perfectly with the incentives of the developers. They're essentially crowdsourcing from their own users, and they're paying them in a way that is almost directly proportional to the amount of revenue that they bring to the company. And the last thing I'll mention before we move on to their juicy financials is their marketing. They say their marketing is almost entirely organic, and I believe them. It is similar to Minecraft in that there are content creators who base their entire YouTube channels around Roblox related videos. And these are channels with millions upon millions of subscribers and viewers. Now, not only does this reach new potential players, but it keeps the game relevant by providing updates, sharing new games, adding drama, everything. It's almost similar to how Tesla gets pretty much free marketing all the time due to meme culture, Elon fandom, and YouTube videos. And seeing as over 65% of their user base is 16 and under, they will occasionally host a concert with a huge influencer for that demographic, such as Lil Nas X. They actually did this. Alright, now let's get on to part 3, their juicy financials, and this section will be a lot faster. Starting with their income statement, we can see that in the first 9 months of 2020, they generated $588 million in revenue, which is a 68% increase year over year. And their biggest cost here, at $209 million, is the developer exchange fees. So that's actually the payment to the developers and the arrangement that we discussed before. And like I said before, they're a long-term thinking company, and they're really focusing on taking care of their developers right now. Cost of revenue is partly the fee that platforms like iOS and Android charge for letting Roblox be listed on their platform. And it makes sense why the cost is so high, seeing as 72% of their users are actually from mobile. But notice how low their marketing spend is. This is pretty much proof that their marketing really is very much organic. I mean, their spend is a lot lower than what you'd expect from a high growth company. In the end, they reported a net loss, however, of $203 million for the first 9 months of 2020, but this might not be the whole picture. So Roblox follows a certain revenue recognition rule, which requires the company to recognize the revenue from Robux over an estimated user lifetime that currently stands at 23 months. In other words, if users buy $1.2 billion worth of Robux, which they did, by the way, in the first 9 months of 2020, then that would not all show up on the income statement as revenue. Instead, a large portion would show up as deferred revenue on the balance sheet. And this is where bookings come in. Bookings are essentially how much cash Roblox earned in a given period from Robux. So if we look at the $1.2 billion in bookings in the first 9 months of 2020, which is a ridiculous 171% increase from a year ago, by the way, as we subtract the net loss from the income statement, go through normal cash flow steps, we see that Roblox generated $292 million in free cash flow. In my opinion, especially with revenue recognition like this, I think that bookings are a much better performance metric for the company. Finally, looking at their balance sheet, we see that they have about $800 million in cash on hand, totaling to about $1.21 billion in current assets. We then see they have over $1 billion in current liabilities as well. However, $904 million of those current liabilities are deferred revenues, which is primarily made up of the bookings we just talked about. I actually think Roblox is in a pretty strong financial position considering their large cash position and the fact that the majority of their liabilities are just revenue that is waiting to be recognized. And before our final part, future growth and the risky risks involved, I do want to give a quick shout out to Dave Lee on investing. He did a fantastic breakdown of Roblox that helped as a launch pad for doing my research for this video, and I just think his channel is severely underrated. He provides some of the most educational, no BS, valuable content on this platform. He's literally interviewing people like the CEO of Lemonade. His videos are just packed with knowledge and wisdom, and I think a channel like his deserves a lot more credit. My goal here is to make you independent investors, and if I can do that by giving you guys another great channel to watch, then I'm gonna do that. Finally, he has no idea I'm doing this. This is not sponsored. I don't even know if he knows I exist, but if you do go check him out, make sure you tell him that I sent you. Alright, part 4, the home stretch of this video, future growth for Roblox and the risky risks involved with this investment. If you want a growth catalyst, how about entering the biggest video game market in the world while partnering with one of the biggest video game and media businesses in the world? Roblox and Tencent formed a strategic partnership in early 2019. It's a joint venture focusing on education of coding, game design, and entrepreneurship. And most importantly, for the growth of the platform, local Chinese developers will be leveraging the global Roblox ecosystem with the ultimate goal of bringing Roblox to China. Together, they created Roblox China Holding Corp, which gives 51% ownership to Roblox and 49% to a Tencent affiliate, Songhua. Beyond that, seeing as how sharing the human experience is at the very core of the Roblox platform, I think that AR and VR will be absolutely necessary for this company. I'm very excited to see how that completely changes the way we interact virtually, and I just want to see what else Roblox can do with this technology. Now, in terms of risk factors, there's one that I kind of see in particular. From what I observe, companies like to IPO in favorable market conditions like right now, or they'll IPO fresh after their hottest couple of quarters to get investors excited to, well, invest. And I fear this may be the case for Roblox. With a target market primarily made up of tweens, as they return to normal school hours, I think their growth rates will start to decline in terms of user growth, revenue, daily active users, and maybe some other things as well. Just take a look at Google Trends for Roblox. It starts pretty average pre-quarantine, then boom, it shoots up as everyone is indoors, and the second it hits September as school returns, it starts to fall off. This uptick right here, I believe, is actually due to the IPO rumors and the announcement of the IPO filing. November 19th, articles come out saying they plan to IPO, and guess when Roblox searches peak again? Just 3 days later on the 22nd. So we're already seeing this risk kind of materialize, and we'll see what this means for Q4 results. So is Roblox just capitalizing on the couple good quarters from work from home tailwinds and timing their IPO? And if they're not, is there still a chance for accelerated, continued growth after all this is over? Definitely something to keep an eye on, and personally I think it might be worth waiting for Q4 results before building out an entire position if I do intend to buy. Now, as a side note, Roblox does highlight age demographic expansion as one of their growth strategies, which they'll achieve through higher quality experiences. Now, there's a lot more for me to research regarding this company, but if they don't pull an Airbnb or a Snowflake and they're actually reasonably priced, or if I feel like Wall Street is not valuing them correctly, then I may start a position. Of course, all top tier patrons are alerted every single time I make a trade, and I'll always try and give a reason why. You'll also have access to a bunch of free secret videos that I record for you guys, access to my portfolio, and a lot more. We're trying to create a community of over 2,000 independent individual investors. We have a really big vision for this Discord, so if it sounds like something you want to be a part of, if you're willing to learn, get your hands dirty with some research, then please consider joining us at the first link in the description below. If you found any value in this video, and I hope you did, please make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and check out our quote of the day. You might just learn something. Make sure to follow me on Instagram for daily posts about my portfolio, stocks I'm watching, and all that good stuff. If you're watching at this point in the video, you are the real MVP. Don't forget your peace and thank yous.